It was a dark and stormy night. Woo! Okay, that was easy. We're done with the series. Okay, I'm kidding. Just a little bit. Hi, my name is Kelly Martin. I'm a traditionally and independently published author of more than 30 books, and welcome to my channel. This is the very first video in the How to Write Horror series that I'm doing in August. I'm going to post every Monday in August, and it's going to be 4 different topics on writing horror. And I have a series 2 planned. 4 more videos on how to write horror. I'm not sure if I'll get into that. I guess we'll see if you want it, if that's something you would like to see, or if you're like, lady, no. In series 1, we're talking about how to start a horror book, how to end a horror book, the tense and the point of view you might want to use, and how to get people or keep people's interest through the entire book, even in the slow parts. In the tense video, the tense and point of view video, it's not going to be you need to do this or you need to do that. It's more going to be pros and cons of each tense, of past, present, future tense, or first person, second person, third person point of view. All right, let's go ahead and get started. First, how to start your horror book. Like any book, of course, writing a horror book starts with an idea. I can see you clicking off because you're like, oh my land, she's going to talk about basic stuff like ideas and stuff. I have ideas. I want to know how to put it on paper. We're going to get to that. But the idea is kind of the foundation, the beginning of everything, of your story. And it might be, I've had ideas come from dreams. I've had ideas come from what ifs. I've had ideas come from pictures. I've had ideas that start at like the end, and I want to see how it started. So make sure that you have an idea, that you have a good idea. And the main part of having an idea for a book is to make sure that the story, the idea, is enough for a full-length novel. If you want to make it a novella, that's fine, but you need to know in the beginning. I've started writing some books before, and I'm like, no, there's no way I can even pull 10,000 words out of this one basic snapshot idea. I've scrapped books before because I'm like, no, I can't make a full story based on this one idea. So, and that kind of comes with, I mean, even after 30 books, I still do that. So that kind of comes with, write down all your ideas. You can start even plotting them, outlining them, just, writing, drafting, and see if it's a solid start, a solid idea that that's more than just a scene that you can stretch out into either a novella or a full-length novel, or even into a series. Now, let's assume that you've already got that step finished. You're like, Kelly, I have my idea. That's why I'm watching your video. Okay, so you have your idea. I'm going to assume if you're a plotter, you already have every story beat hit. If you're a pantser, you probably have your Word doc opened. Now for me, I'm a pantser plotter. I usually write the first draft with very minimal points situated. I usually have, I don't know, a general idea. I usually don't know how it's going to end. And I write like I'm watching a movie, like from the very first scene to the very end scene. And then I'll go back and I'll plot certain pieces that I want to put back in to make the final book, more impactful. So I guess my first draft is technically like a really big outline. And then I go back and then I'll outline different points if I didn't hit it before. And then I'll go back through and put those in. Not really the point of this video, but there's some extra for you. Okay, here we go. We're getting into it. How to start your story, your first sentence, your attention grabber, the line, the scene, the story, the paragraph that's going to make somebody who has already picked up your book and opened your book to want to keep reading. Later on, this line is going to be partially what makes people want to pick up your book or put it in the cart on Amazon. Now, we're not going to get too far into that because we're not there yet. But for right now, we're simply brainstorming ideas for where to begin. Now, I'm going to stop right here and say that I'm not the world's biggest expert on horror or paranormal stories. I know what I know, and I don't know what I don't know. I've written 14 horror, ghost, paranormal books in my time, and even if I'm a #1 on New York Times bestseller list, which I have not, but even if I did, I don't think I'm the kind of person that would ever consider myself an expert on writing. I always think that people can grow and learn and do different things, even, you know, when you hit #1 on New York Times. I'm doing this series to hopefully help anyone out there who is at the very least a starting place, some ideas, and a feeling of not being alone in the trenches. Okay. We all got that. We know I don't consider myself a be-all, end-all of horror or writing, and please don't leave a comment like, you don't know what you're talking about. I mean, you can. It's a free country or world. You can. In my experience, the best opening of a horror book or a paranormal book or a ghost story is an unexpected one. Here are a few examples from my books. It's a strange feeling in life to watch your ghost hunter father live on TV while eating popcorn next to your dead mother. That's from Dark and Deadly Things. And my personal favorite, first line of any book I've ever read, Jessup Hart Blackwell ate my brain every night. That's from Heartless. I mean, does that not shout out that that is the greatest love story ever told? From Heartless. I love Heartless. I love Hart. I love Grayson. It's a 5-book series, and it starts with Jessup Hart Blackwell ate my brain every night. He says liar's tongues was his favorite. That's the second line. Anyway, okay. That's the thing with first lines. It needs to get the reader to want to continue to read more, and 2, to jump right into the story. I'm going to give you a little secret of things that I'm going to talk about in other videos, but I guess to know how I think of horror and paranormal and ghost stories, you need to kind of get into my brain a little bit. I'm sorry. But what I think about when I write my stories is the world is normal, like it is now, only it's slightly tilted on its side. And you don't notice that it's tilted, but you notice something's off. And that's how I like to write my books. It's like it's normal, but it's tilted. It's just enough for the reader to know that there's something weird going on, and you want to know what it is. I like to make the world normal because the horror hasn't started yet in my books, personally. You need to get I guess in Heart it has started. Jessup Hart Blackwell ate my heart every night. That's kind of just gets right into it. Of course, it's a dream, and eventually you figure out it's a dream. It's not a very long chapter. But readers need to get a chance to adjust to the normal of your world. You can't just jump into I don't know what, but they need a chance to get into the world, get into the story with 1 or 2 words in your opening sentence that skews the world to lay on its side. Just enough to grab the reader's attention and make them start to hear and feel the hum too. That makes a little uneasiness for the reader and kind of pulls them along on okay, what am I feeling? What's going on? And that's how you lull into a jump scare paranormal beats that hit so hard. A spoiler for future videos, that's how you get through the slow places. You keep that hum. You put 1 or 2 words that kind of keeps your world tilted, but not too much tilted. You just want a little unease. When the jump scares hit, it's even more impactful. So, how in the world do you do that? How do you make your reader keep reading, your story to be impactful, and the world to tilt on its side? Well, I got 5 tips for you. Number 1, make your chapter 1 end with some sort of tension, and make your first sentence contribute to that tension. Think of writing as a roller coaster, and you start up the hill, and you want your first line to tilt your reader as you're going up. And you feel that pit in your stomach, and you know something's coming, and you know something's coming. You don't know what's coming yet. You just keep going and keep going and keep going, and you're moving up slowly and slowly and slowly. That's how you build up. That's where the tension rises. That's for every story, but especially in horror. It lets the reader kind of get their bearings, kind of make sure they're tilted just a little bit. That's on your end. And the reader knows what kind of story that they're on, whether it's gory horror or ghost story horror or psychological horror or a romance story, if you want to do that, paranormal romance or just a regular romance story. It gets the reader to know what they're in store for. They know what kind of roller coaster they're on, even if they don't know exactly what the track looks like. Number 2, write a typically normal sentence, but add 1 or 2 words to skew the story and the reader a little bit, to tilt it. The very first line in Trinity Row is, if it's as dead on the inside as it is on the outside, we're all screwed. And besides the imagery there, if it's an abandoned building, you know you're reading a horror novel, so you know something's going on. Of course, the word dead, to emphasize there's probably ghosts around. And that kind of gets you in the mindset of, okay, this is where this story's going. I know things are going to be dead, more than likely. Probably ghosts. It's an abandoned house because it looks dead. And something else is happening, but we're not sure what. And that gets the world tilted a little bit. Number 3, ignore everything I just said and throw the reader in the deep end. You can do that. There is no law that says you can't start your first sentence or your chapters with a bang, with like a big scene, a big action scene. Personally, I like the slow rise, but there is no law that says you can't open in the deep end. An example of this from my books would be Jessup Hart Blackwell ate my brain every night. That tells you the entire plot of book 1 in a very short sentence. Basically, like I said, greatest love story ever told. You're welcome. Of course, we know that can't really happen. Jacob Hart Blackwell is not going to eat somebody's brains every night. But the every night part kind of gives you a clue as to what's going on. Of course, it's going to be a nightmare. Probably going to be a nightmare. But those few words kind of give a, okay, this is a deep end. We got things going on. It's probably going to be more of a gory-ish book. There's going to be some blood in this book. Things are weird. Things are off. People are getting their brain eaten every night. And 3, you know what happens every night. So something weird must be going on. There has to be an explanation. And the reader wants to read another sentence and another sentence and another sentence to try to figure out what that explanation is. I talk with my hands a lot. Sorry. Number 4, if this is a horror book, and I'm going to imagine that it is, which is the reason you clicked on this video, make the typical atypical. Like in Dark and Deadly Things, when the first line is, it is a strange feeling in life to watch your ghost hunter. It's a strange feeling in life to watch your ghost hunter father live on TV while eating popcorn next to your dead mother. Okay, that tells you basically everything you need to know for the very first book. It's the setup. 3 things. That this person, I don't think I said it was a girl yet. This person is sitting on a couch. She's watching her ghost hunter father, who is live on TV. So 1, he's not dead. 2, he's a ghost hunter. 3, she's eating popcorn next to her dead mother. So that she is not freaked out about seeing ghosts, that her mother's more than likely a ghost. Well, that her mother's a ghost because she can see her, and she's eating popcorn, so that means she's relaxed and she's not freaked out. Now, another explanation can be that she's a complete psycho and eating popcorn next to the corpse of her dead mother, but we're going to solve that in the next few sentences. Hopefully people keep reading to figure that out. It's spoiler, it is a ghost of her mother. It's not her mama's body or anything. And by the beat before, I mean like right before, like 5 minutes before, right before something happens. That gets your reader adjusted to the situation. It gives them a kind of a false sense of security, and it gives the characters and your reader time to get kind of on that tilted skew. So that's it. That's the first video. I really hope you liked it. I hope you learned something, and I hope you continue to watch the series. What are some other ways that you can think to start to write an epic horror novel? What are your favorite opening lines? Leave them in the comments and let's talk about them. The other 3 videos in this series are, like I said before, we're going to talk about tense and point of view. We're going to talk about getting your readers to keep reading through the slow parts. And we're going to talk about how to end your book. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you would like to. Hit the notification bell if you want to know when these videos comes up. They will be every Monday in August. And I hope you have a great day. If you have any comments or questions or anything, leave them in the comments and I will be sure to answer them. I hope you have a fantastic day. Bye. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Video 1. No. If you're a pantser, you probably have your Word doc open. If you're a pantser, you probably have your Word doc open. Oh, gosh. Number 2. Number 2, write a typically normal sentence. Number 5, start the beat. Number 5, start the beat before something big happens. And why can't I speak? We're going to talk about tense